So hey guys, I'm back again with this John Deere. It's an LT 133, and part of the problem with this was no fuel delivery. And so one of the things that you might check on this engine is the fuel pump. And so you'll crank the engine over, pull the line off the carburetor, for example, and you crank it and you crank it and you crank it, you're not getting any fuel. So you might think, well, I've got a bad fuel pump. But that may not be the problem, and I'll show you why. Now I've got the tank out of this mower already. I'm not showing you how to get it out. I'll try to show you how to put it back. But really there's only 3 bolts that hold it on, and I'll show you those in a minute. But what's happened with this mower is that the pickup tube out of the tank that goes down inside there, it's plastic. It got brittle and it broke off and it was in pieces inside the tank. So I'm going to show you how to replace that today, what parts you're going to need, and get it back running. So here's the tube that goes down inside the tank, and this of course is the elbow that connects to the fuel line that goes back to the carburetor, back to the fuel pump. And so as you can see, it's all snapped off. This was snapped off inside the tank and brittle and broken. This is part of the grommet that actually goes here in the tank that holds everything on. And so that's what needs to be replaced on this to be able to get it back running again. So here's the John Deere part you need for this particular tank. This is the John Deere part right here, which is an AM12215. And so then you get the new tube, get the elbow, and that's ready to go. The grommet that holds that in, that part number for John Deere is going to be an M132706, and that's what the grommet looks like there. So we show you how to put those in, show you how to put the tank back in, and hook everything back up. So here's what I like to do. I like to take a little bit of Vaseline, just a dab of it's all you really need. And I like to just put it around the grommet like that. Grommet, tank, and it'll just push right in. And then all you have to do, I like to put just a little bit around here, just a residual amount. Put it around there. Push the tube in, and there you go. It's ready to put this tank back in. Yeah, same thing here. Just a slight dab of Vaseline. Put that on there. It'll help it slide back in the fuel line when we need to put it back on when we put the tank back in. So the first thing we need to do is pull this tire. And of course, as you well know, it's just held on with a C-clip right down there. All we have to do is just pull the C-clip off at a washer like so, and then we'll jack it up, pull wheel off. Okay, wheel off. One thing you want to take note of is it does have a Woodruff key, and so clean that slot out real good. And you want to make sure that when you put that tire back on, that you make certain that you get the key in there. You may try to push the tire on from this side with the key in there and find out that the key's laying on the ground when you get done. So just make sure you get it in. Now I'm going to use a little brake parts cleaner on this. Clean it all up. And then I'm going to re-grease that when I put the wheel back on. So later on down the road, should you ever have to pull it off again, it'll come off easy. So on the tank, the two mounting bolts for the tank go right there. You'll see them, 1, 2, and they go right here, 1, 2. This is your fuel line. That's what's going to connect to the tank. These are held on with these bolts right here. And these bolts go through the tank, through the backside, and then they're held on with a nylon nut. So this is a nylon lock nut that holds those on. Over on this side, you'll find this bracket, that bracket there. That bracket goes on to hold the tank, same bolt and nut setup, and of course it just goes in here. I think you can see here and here. So all we have to do really right now is just work the tank back up in there, and that's not hard at all. So pretty much that only takes a second. I'm filming this by myself, so I don't really have someone to help show you how it goes in, but you can see it just fits in there. I'll see if I can get that picture for you there. And if you look down here, you'll be able to see the hose, the fuel line, and you'll be able to see the elbow. And all you have to do is just work those on. It'll just plug right on, put the fuel clamp back on there, and then bolt the tank back in place. So here's a shot with the fuel line connected into the tank before we bolt it in place. And as you can see here, you can clearly see the fuel line as it comes up from this side. See your fuel line right here. Comes up, you can reach behind right there, and then you can just push it on. And you push the tank through the top and then spin the cap on. It'll hold it in position for you. So now it'll be easy to work your bolts back on. So here's where we'll be right here. See that those will bolt right there. I'll go ahead and put this bracket on over here first, just to show you how it looks when it's in position. But it's going to be hard for me to show you putting it on because I only have one hand. So I'll show it to you in position once we get it on. It's going to go, here we are, the bracket's going to go on with the little pin, going to go in the slot so it can move up and down. The top hole is going to bolt right there, and then this bracket, once it's bolted on, go right into the tank right there, and that's going to hold this side of the tank in position. So that's how that works. There we are, bracket loosely installed. That's how it goes. And we just leave it that way till we get the other two in. And then tighten it up, and everything's a 1/2 inch wrench. So here we go with the tank. One goes in here, one goes in there. And all we have to do is take the nylon nuts, spin them on from the back side, hold everything with 1/2 inch wrenches, and tighten it all up, and we're done. Now, as I stated before, I'll just take a little bit of grease. Some grease. Grease this all up. Now it's ready to put the wheel back on. Now remember, it does have, turn that for you, the other side. Get that up so you can see it. It's got a key that goes in there. That's the key that goes in there. And I always find it easier to put the wheel on and then line up the keyway in the wheel with the keyway in the slot. And you just tap it on. There, that's a better shot. Try to get some light on it for you there. Just line the key up there and just push it in there like so. Push that in there. That's the easy way to make certain that you got it on there. All you have to do then, put your washer back on. Put your clip back on. Put your cap back on. Let her down. Gas tank repaired. Anyway, once again, those are the parts that you'll need. AM122215 for the fuel tube, and then you'll need an M132706 for the rubber grommet that secures the tube in the tank. And that's all you really need for this repair.